Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our new video. And as you know, we are doing mini podcast. And today's video, we have a special guest from USA. His name is Josh, and he's in the real estate business. So, Jovan, could you tell them a little bit more about Josh?
Yeah, of course. So, hello guys from my side. As Philip said, today we have a very special guest. His name is Josh. He is coming from New Hampshire. He is new in real estate industry, and today, as we said in our previous videos, you'll receive some valuable information about business, but today in real estate industry. So guess what? See you on the other side. So guys, as we said, we got a new guest today. So Josh, welcome to Ninjapreneurs podcast. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing great. Perfect way to start the week, you know?
Yeah. Thanks a lot for accepting our invitation. And I hope everything is fine in USA from now.
Yeah, no complaints right now. Hopefully COVID will go away soon.
It will for sure. So are you feel ready to start answering our questions for today's podcast?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Let's get it.
Okay, let's go. So as I know and as Phil know, you're new in real estate industry, right? New agent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's been awesome so far. On Thursday it'll be 2 months, so I'm just under 2 months, but it's like crazy how much I've learned in that time.
Awesome, man. So as a new agent, how can I best prepare to get in a real estate industry?
Yeah, so like at least in New Hampshire in the US, and I know a lot of other states are similar and around the world, but it's not, you don't need to go through a ton of school to get into real estate. Like I went to college, but like I didn't use my degree to get into real estate. It was only a 40-hour class. So you need to prepare and do the 40-hour schooling or whatever it may be where you are, and then you take the test. So it's not super hard to get into, but you really need to grind once you do it.
Awesome. So Phil?
Yes, Josh, hello from me as well now, and thank you for coming. So
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's say hypothetically I started as a real estate agent and I set up my first Facebook page for real estate. What content should I use in my social media to get more customers and more work?
Yeah, so what a lot of people do on Facebook and other forms of social media, they go too much too fast. They're just like shoving real estate down your throat and like you can't even breathe. When in reality on Facebook is a platform where you want to like get to know people and become friends with them. So if you post content not related to real estate to get people to know you and like you and get your family and friends to reach out to you, and then when they need a real estate agent, they'll think of you. Meanwhile, if you just post real estate stuff all day long, they're like, is this a business page? I thought this was just my friend's Facebook page. You know what I mean? So you need to balance out how much business content you put, or else you could lose like friendships. You know what I mean? Because they think they're using you only for business. So just maintain your friendships instead of pushing business.
So don't be spammy, don't spam all over the business.
Spammy, yes, that's exactly right. Like some platforms are different. Like I have like a personal Instagram and I have like a real estate Instagram. So people on the real estate Instagram, they can expect real estate content. But on my Facebook and on my Snapchat and on everything else, I'm not pushing real estate all the time. Because it's like I still want to have a good relationship with people where they don't just think I'm a business transaction.
Okay. So Jovan?
That's a great answer. I hope all the people who are watching us right now will get some valuable tips about social media. So what skills would you like to learn and why?
Yeah, so one of the reasons that real estate really interested me is because people always say it's one of the 7 streams of income. If you want to be like a millionaire or have a lot of money, like being like fluent in like the language of real estate is really important. And I figured the best way to kind of get into that was to become a real estate agent. And I can tell you already in the past 2 months, I've learned more about like rental properties and flipping and stuff like that than I would have doing anything else. Because think about this. When you're in real estate, you have no retirement benefits. Like you have no health insurance, no stuff like that. Like you need to like buy it yourself eventually. And what do people do in real estate to retire? They buy rental properties. So their retirement is actually just rental investment properties. So they have passive income coming their entire lives. They don't need to be 65 to get it. So I think the coolest skill that I want to learn is how to do like flips and rental properties, stuff like that.
Awesome. So Phil?
Okay, great. So Josh, what is the difference between the agents who make it and the ones who don't? So what is the most common thing that they fail at?
Yeah, so I think it's like 87% of agents like quit in their first year, something like that, and it's because people quit too early. So when you get into real estate, there's no base salary or base pay. You only get paid when you help somebody buy or sell a house. So you need to be prepared to go several months without making any money at all. Like I started real estate on February 1st, and then April 16th is my first scheduled closing. So I got my first client like February 15th. We got our contract signed on March 12th, but then it doesn't close for 5 to 6 weeks after that. It takes like 30 to 45 days to close. So you need to find a client, you need to find a house, and then it takes 30 to 45 days to close. So you're talking about a couple months where you aren't making any money, and people are like, wait, that's crazy. And it's just what you have to do. Like you need to live below your means for a couple months, and then you can have a lifetime of success. But a lot of people want the short-term pleasures so much that they won't, like, yeah, I won't go 6 months without going to the bars every weekend to hopefully change my life. And I'd rather, knock on wood, risk it to hopefully be successful, you know?
I agree so much with that one. Okay, so Jovan?
Appreciate it.
Happy to hear that from you. So it's very similar to our industry because both of us, we are working network marketing and some piece of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, here in our industry is the same. People don't expect to earn money in the first 3 months, you know, and that's very normal. But if that 3 months are passing away as fast as they can, they will start earning for sure, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
I have very interesting question for you right now. So let's say I want to buy a house, okay? So what is the first step of the home buying process, and how long does it take to buy a home?
Yeah, so the first step of the home buying process, especially for a first-time buyer, is to be getting pre-approved by a mortgage lender. So if you're paying in cash, you don't need to do a lot of these steps. But a lot of first-time buyers are not going to be paying in cash. So what you need to do is you need to take 15-20 minutes and give all of your info to a mortgage lender. So they'll do like a credit search. They'll take your employment info, your pay stubs and stuff like that, and they will calculate like your debt to income ratio, like how many debts you have per month to how much income you have per month. And basically they're going to say, I pre-approve you for this amount of a house for this % down. So then when you come to a real estate agent, you could say, hey, I am pre-approved to buy a house for $300,000. And here's a bank that said they'd give me a loan for that. So great. That means that I'm not wasting my time. Because if I go to a bunch of houses with you and it turns out you aren't even approved to buy a house like that, then everybody loses. So first step is pre-approval. Then you talk to your agent. I show you houses within that range. Once we find a house that you like, we can place an offer on it. And then if the offer gets accepted, closing is 4 to 6 weeks out after that. So it could be a 2-month process. It could be a year process. It depends on how quick you find a house and if your pre-approval is good. Like if someone's credit is really bad, their pre-approval is going to be low. So they might just well say, hey, I'm going to wait and get my credit up for 6 months, then get a pre-approval. You might get a lot more money.
Great, great, awesome. So Phil,
Yeah. So Josh, tell me, what is the seller market and what is the buyer market in the real estate industry?
Yeah, so really good example of the seller's market is right now in the United States. When inventory is low, there's more demand for the product. So inventory is low and you have a ton of buyers, so that creates a seller's market. The seller has a bunch of different buyers to choose from. Say if they get 20 offers, they get to be really picky. Say, oh, I don't like that, throw it aside. I don't like that. So if you're one offer out of 20, that's a 5% chance that your offer is going to get picked. So it might take you a lot of offers to get a house. Meanwhile, in a buyer's market, there are fewer buyers and there are a ton of houses to choose from. So that's when you really have to have a lot of open houses. Like you have to be like, this is great about the house. This is great. This is great. And the buyer's like, I'm going to buy this one instead. So right now, the buyer's agent, like me, I have to work way harder in a seller's market because I'm competing with so many other buyer's agents. In a buyer's market, the seller has to work harder because he's trying to attract the buyers when they could go to any house they want because there are so many. So ideally, you would have a balance in the market, but we're in a seller's market right now.
Okay, that's awesome. Johan?
so let's talk about resources, okay? So what are the most important resources buyers should be using and why?
Yeah, so like websites that are like third-party websites like Zillow or Realtor.com. Basically, if you go on to Google or search like, hey, I'm like looking for homes, like you'll have local websites like that. And by the time that people see websites or houses on those websites, very often they're already taken. Because in a seller's market, the houses go super fast. So there's a website called the MLS, which is the multiple listing service, and that's something that only agents have access to. Whenever a house is listed, I find out first on that website. And then they go to those third-party sites like Realtor.com and Zillow and Homes.com, all those. So if you're interested in looking for a house and you're just only going on those websites, you aren't seeing a lot of the good stuff because a lot of the good stuff is on the MLS and it's taken by the time it gets to Zillow and those other websites. So the first thing you should do, honestly, is to talk to a local agent and have them set up a plan for you because they're the ones with all the resources, you know?
Great.
So Phil?
Yes. So Josh, how much do I need to pay to an agent to help me, let's say, buy a house?
So something that a lot of people actually don't know is that, like, if I'm helping you find a house, you don't pay me at all. The seller is the one who pays the real estate commission. So say any home value, so a seller is selling their home for like $300,000 or whatever, and the real estate commission on that house is like it's generally 5 or 6%. So the seller is going to say, whatever agent brings me a buyer, I'll pay you half of that, or there's 2.5 or 3%. And that's how I get paid. So my mentor always says, real estate, you work for free with random bonuses. So if I were to help one of you guys find a house, all the work I do for you, it's completely free. You never pay me at all. And I only get paid if I help you find a good house. So that's an incentive for me. Like, because you guys are friends, so I already want to find you a house. But you really need to, like the buyers right now, buyers agents need to work super hard to get paid. So that's hopefully what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a good one as well. So we're coming to an end. And one of the last questions, we have another one more, but one of the last question is, what should we hire you in 5 years and what makes you stand out?
Yeah. So what I think stands out for me is that I'm always going to be the hardest working in the room, and I'm always going to try to be the fastest in the room. If you're not fast, you're last right now. houses are selling in a week or 2 weeks, you need to be at that open house or scheduling a showing within like a day or two. And I want to be the person who does that. Something that I think separates me from a lot of other people is that they're just doing it for money, and I'm doing it because I love talking to people. I love going out and seeing houses. I love helping people. I love going the extra mile. And the thing is, this is what I always tell people, no matter what industry you're in, if you hate your job, there's somebody who wakes up every single day in that job, they love it. It's what they're meant to do in life. So for all the people out there who are just trying to do real estate for a check or to like look cool or make $1 million, I actually enjoy it. So I'm going to be successful. If you're just doing it for the money, those are the type of people who quit too early. But this is way more fun than my last job. So that's why I'm doing it all the time, you know?
Great, awesome. I remember we talked each other that you were working something with accounts, right? Account manager or something like that.
Yeah. So I was an account manager at a medical device company, and I was just sitting in a cube all day long and like making calls and stuff like that. And I wasn't making a lot of money. So I basically said, I'm like, if I could make the same amount of money in real estate doing something I'm happy with, then it'd be worth it, you know?
Yeah. And both of us, me and Phil, we're doing network marketing, as I said. And a lot of people that they are saying you do that for money, do that. No, we don't do that for money. We do that for our freedom, you know, because the freedom is the most important. You're doing what you want to do in the future, right? And the thing is, we're also good to talk with people, and that is why we're making this podcast. And I'm so happy, and it was my pleasure to have you here. And I hope we will meet each other in life very, very soon.
Yes, that'd be great.
And I hope we'll buy a house in New Hampshire, so you will be our agent.
Hey, you never know.
Look,
that'd be super
look,
cool.
Josh, look, we heard about New Hampshire, but we like Miami a lot, you know. So
hey, you know what?
You can help
Miami
us.
a lot
you can
too.
help us to buy. Yeah. You can help us to buy a house in Miami.
Hey, you know what? I'll give me a month. I'll get my Florida license.
Okay.
So thanks a lot for accepting our invitation. It was our pleasure to have you here as our guest, and I hope the people who are watching this will get some valuable informations about real estate industry. Phil, do you have something to add on this?
Yes, so thank you, Josh. Thank you very much for coming. I think this was valuable, and not just in like you said some things in general about entrepreneurship, that people shouldn't quit and shouldn't be chasing the money only in the business. And yeah, thank you very much, man.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. And touching on the entrepreneurship, where a lot of people like miss the mark here, I say it's not about the money, but I still need to make money to survive. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm doing something because it makes me happy. Then people are like, but you make money with it. It's like, well, yeah, like you got to make money to live. So it's always a challenge talking to people who just like aren't receptive to it. But other entrepreneurs, I like that you guys know exactly what I mean, you know?
Thank you guys so much for watching this video until the end. I hope you find this information helpful. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because it will mean a lot to grow the channel and have more videos. Also, comment down below of what kind of videos would you like to see, any suggestions for us, and see you in the next one.